Is it going to be too much to write 4 books, or do we think I'm going to be able to pull it off? I have some pretty ambitious goals for 2025, and I'm going to break them all down into 3 categories: self-publishing, traditional publishing, and marketing. I'm going to break down what each goal is, why I made that goal, and whether I think I'll be able to accomplish it, and hopefully this does not turn into a long personal roast. I have goals on this list for 2025 that I never would have even thought possible 3 years ago, so let's just dive right into them. The number 1 goal on this list I have made for myself is actually publish They Stay 5. This was supposed to happen last year. I fully own that. I know it was supposed to happen in 2024. However, I started writing it in June. It actually isn't that late for me to be publishing it, given that I started writing it in June, and I'm very glad that I took my time with it and I didn't try to rush it, because I finally have an ending that I'm happy with, and so hopefully that means you'll be happy with it too. I want to do the whole shebang. I want to make a big fuss out of it. Now that I have a book that I'm really proud of, I am going to shout to the sky about this book. I just want everyone to know about it, that the series is coming to an end. It's super exciting. And that is a really, really big deal. That's like one of the biggest things I've ever accomplished now, is this 5-book finished series. Awesome. So happy about it. I'm gonna market the crap out of it. I'm actually gonna publish it. It's gonna happen early in the year, probably in March, and it's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna be a huge deal. Finishing that series is going to free me up to pursue some new writing projects, and so my next goal for 2025 is to write book 1 of my new paranormal thriller series. I have 3 books of this planned. I could potentially do more, but I have a solid 3 books, and we're going to see how the books do before deciding whether it's going to be a trilogy or I'm going to push it longer. If everybody hates it, maybe I'll just do 1 and call it a day, but I'm really excited about this idea. I've already plotted out the first book. I have concepts for the next 2, but I haven't been able to plot them out yet because I'm still figuring out the details of book 1. I am a true crime girly. I love Criminal Minds. I love anything that has to do with like catching serial killers. That genre of story is just it just really captures my imagination. And so I wanted to do something along the lines of that, but with my own twist on it. It's like if Supernatural had a baby with Criminal Minds. I'm loving it, and it's really fun to plot. I haven't started writing it yet, but I'm jazzed about it, and I can't wait to actually draft that book. So that is one of my goals for next year, is I want to have a rough draft of the book. I'm not expecting to have something finished, but I'd like to have kind of like what I have now for my standalone. I'd like to have a version of the book that's rough enough, that has been to beta readers, that beta readers have seen, that I've incorporated feedback on, that has an ending, that needs more work, but is like maybe 75% of the way done, that I can take across the finish line pretty easily in 2026 and publish it in 2026. If this were the only thing I was planning on doing next year, I would say that I could easily publish it next year, but I have some other things that I want to be working on next year, including the launch of my brand new pen name. This is a super big deal because I never expected to be starting a new pen name. I never expected to be writing in a different genre, especially not the genre that I've chosen, but I am very excited about it. I am going to start a super secret pen name. It's not really going to be that secret because I'm going to talk about it on this channel, and I'm probably going to have social media accounts where I show my face, and it's just going to be a different name to separate it under, but I'm not going to hide behind it. It's just going to like be a different persona of mine, because it would be super confusing to market what I'm going to be writing with my ghost thrillers, because the new genre that I'm going to be writing in is Western romance. You might not know this about me because I keep my private life very private on this channel, but I live in Montana and I also really love reading romance. So I'm really excited to be able to write stories set in the world that I live in and the world that I know really well, that also are a very different change of pace from the dark true crime ghost horror that I've been writing. I don't want to give up on writing my ghost books because I love them and they really speak to a part of my soul, but I know there is a bigger audience for the cowboy romance, and also a part of me that really, really loves writing happier stories, and more so than happier stories, just writing in a world that I know that well, where I can write about all the things that I love. I haven't named my pen name yet. I haven't decided on a name, but I have learned from all of my genre research that it is good to try to pick keywords in your pen name, or like pick names that sound Western when you're writing cowboy romance. So I will be coming up with that at some point soon. But next year is going to be my year of prep for this. 2025, I'm going to get all of my ducks in a row. I'm going to write 3 books. They are going to be standalone, small town, Western romance. Jury's out on whether they will be steamy or not. We're still not quite there yet. I have to write book 1 and see how I'm feeling. And then I'm going to rapid release them in 2026. So I want to have everything ready to go by the end of the year. I want to have 3 manuscripts I'm proud of that have been to beta readers that I'm happy with, because I've never written romance before. This will be my first time writing romance. I mean, I've written like romance subplots. I've never written a romance book. I love writing characters, and like writing about people's emotions is my favorite part of writing. So I have a feeling I'll be able to figure it out, and I'm really excited about it. So that will be my project for this year. I have a 4-book series planned out just to see if it works and if it's something that I like to do, and we'll see. I'm going to write 3 of them next year, and I'll write the next one in 2026, and hopefully it works and people like them, and I like writing them, because that would be a really fun thing to be able to do that hopefully will be able to drive a little bit more profit into the business. And I don't want to give up writing my passion projects, and hopefully they'll start turning more of a profit too, if I'm able to market them and package them correctly, which we will get to in just a second. I want to do a huge launch of my new Ghost series in 2026. I want to do big launches. Like 2026 is going to be my big launch year, and 2025 is going to be my big prep year. So I want to get everything ready to go so that I can just release it all and have a ton of material ready. So next year is going to be a bit more of a creative year. I will publish 1 book and write 4. We'll see if this happens. Maybe I'll start writing the romance book and find out that I hate it. Maybe I'll just start killing people left, right, and center, and that it just quickly becomes a thriller. I wouldn't put it past me, given my writing history and tendencies, but maybe I won't, and maybe I'll love it, and maybe things will go well. I don't know, but that is my goal, is to write 4 books and publish 1. I absolutely will publish 1. Like 2025 will not go by without me publishing They Stay 5. I'm sorry, I will do it. But it's really tricky, like when trying to make money self-publishing books, because if you're not writing in a more mainstream genre. Like I was also considering pivoting to domestic thrillers, but my heart just wasn't really in it. Like I love the kind of paranormal horror, but horror can be pretty touch and go. Like YA horror, and as a self-published author, is kind of hard, but maybe it won't be when I repackage it. In my experience, I've really struggled marketing They Stay. It's doing fine. It's doing well. It sells pretty well when I'm like putting ads and putting a bunch of ads out, trying to advertise it, but it's just not selling at the level where I am bringing enough money into the business that I don't need to be doing something else at the same time. So the cowboy romance is something that I can do to bring in a profit that I also really enjoy. And so I don't want to give up on my passion projects, and doing all of those together feels very right to me. So that's why I'm still doing my next ghost book. I'm always going to do at least 1 passion project a year, but I've never written 4 books in a year. This is as many books as I've ever written in a year this year, which was, I'm calling it 2.5, because the They Stay rewrite really felt like it was at least half a book. It took up so much time and mental energy, and I really didn't do anything until mid-March of this year. I took a long break after They Hunt just to decompress from that, and to think about, like, I mean, it wasn't a break. Like, I was YouTubing all the time, and I was making a lot of videos, but I wasn't writing. So I really started writing again in March. It was kind of a short writing year. But with the rise of AI, and as I'm learning how to leverage AI more to save me a lot of time on the menial tasks and to speed up some parts of my writing process, I'm hoping that that's really going to help me churn out books faster without compromising on quality, because it'll just take out a lot of the time-consuming tasks and allow me to be more strategic about where I focus my attention and energy. As I've been learning more about it, AI is not going away, and so I am going to learn how to leverage it to work in my favor and work for me, to help push me to places that I wouldn't be able to accomplish without it, while also really leaning into my humanity and into my creativity to try and make my books as quality as possible, because the quality is going to have to be what stands my books apart from all of the other books that are going to be flooding the market and already are. So my next self-publishing goal is I'm going to publish They Stay 5's audiobook. That is going to happen probably over the summer because my brother narrates that. He is a co-narrator for that. He voices all of the male POV chapters in the series, and so I have to wait for him to be done with school in order to record that. So he's going to be a little slammed over his spring break, so I think we're going to have to wait until the summer. Also potentially going to have to record a new They Stay audiobook if the rewrite that I did ends up really sticking and people like it and it's converting better than the old version. I just have to collect more data and do more testing. Once I do my rebrand of all the covers, that's going to give me a better idea of whether the new opening is working or not, and then I'll be able to test both versions. And if I decide to stick with the new version that I made, then I'll have to redo the audiobook because I want to make it consistent across all versions. So now we've talked about all of those super small and completely achievable tasks that I definitely will not put any pressure on myself to achieve. Let's talk about the traditional publishing goals that I have. This is not actually that big a goal. I just have a goal to query the standalone book that I have. I want to query, I think, over 100 agents. I want to be really aggressive with it. I want to start by just querying a couple and see what the reception is, and then I can tweak my package from there and then send it out again and just see what the reception is. It would be really cool if I could get an agent with that book. I might not get an agent with that book. If I don't, I will make a plan for how I could self-publish it or give it away as a newsletter freebie or decide what I want to do with it because I just love that story and want to do something with it. I'm just going to see if there's anything there. I'm going to see where it takes me, and I just want to make sure that I send it out and shoot my shot with that book because I believe in it and I'm excited about it. Moving on to marketing. This is the big one. First marketing goal that I have is to do a full cover rebrand of the They Stay series. I want to redesign every cover and optimize it to better fit the genre that I am writing in. The backstory of this is that I was working with an ads consultant last year or this year in 2024, and I was trying to figure out how to get the books to convert better on Facebook because they weren't converting very well on Facebook. And I had some months where I was profitable, but once I tried to scale, it just wasn't working, and it was really hard to sustain being profitable, so it's just really, really difficult. I worked with the Writing Wives, specifically Mal Cooper and Felicia Beasley, and they were fantastic. And Mal said, based on the data, it looked like a lot of people were clicking through and downloading the book, but I wasn't getting enough page reads. And it looked like a lot of people were downloading and reading a couple of pages and then deciding to put it down. And I was getting really good reviews, so it isn't a quality issue of the book, but her theory was just that it was taking people a little too long to get into it, and also a lot of people that would enjoy it weren't buying it because it looked either like it was a YA book, and even though I wrote it as a YA book, it's really not. Like, most of the people that are reading it and liking it are older, and I know a lot of older readers read YA, but sometimes the fact that it's YA can be a turnoff, and she suggested it would be a better idea for me to create covers that make the book look more mature and not make it look like something that you would buy for a 12-year-old, but instead make it look like something that you would buy for yourself. And so I want to do that. I want to do that, and I want to test it to really see if that makes a difference, because I know that the book is good. I'm very confident in the book. Not, of course, some people may not like the book. I'm not saying that it's like, everybody's going to love the book, but I'm really proud of the book. I've gotten really good reviews of the book. I know that if I can get it into the right readers' hands, they also might like the book. I just have to figure out how to get the right readers who will like it to know that they will like it based on the cover. So that is my big goal for this year, is redo a full redesign of the covers, do more testing. I've been testing comps that I've been making, like using PickFu, and I create polls on PickFu and test a bunch of different covers and send them to potential readers. and those readers will like click on the images that they find most compelling, and then I'm able to get real-time data as to which ones people are clicking on when they're presented with multiple options, and hopefully I can start to develop a little bit of a look or a brand to my books. So that would be very nice, because I know the people who like paranormal are out there. I just need to figure out how to find them. My next marketing goal is a YouTube goal. Shocker. I would really like to get the channel, this is my stretch goal, to 40,000 subscribers. I've been so happy with the way that this channel has grown this year. I'm so excited about it, and growing on YouTube is also a great source of income for a writer who makes videos and spends a lot of her time doing this. So if I could be making a little more money from the channel, that would be awesome, especially since I really try not to do any sort of sponsorships on the channel. I've been turning down people who've been wanting me to do sponsored videos just because I really want to protect this channel and make sure that every single recommendation that I give is not because somebody is paying me to sponsor a video. It's actually because I really, really believe in the product and I want to share something that has helped me with you guys. Plus, it would be really great to have some other people in our community, and it would be fun to have some new faces around. So my plan for this is to continue being consistent with my posting, and also to double down on video concepts that have worked really well for me in the past. The videos that tend to do the best on this channel are my plotting videos, where I come up with some sort of silly story and create that story on camera. And then I use that story to illustrate something, like the video that I did on how to outline a book, and I created that little story about Greg and the garden gnomes. That one did really well. The one that I just made on plotting also did really well, and I created this like little like circus horror story that I put in there. So combining that, I think, because that's kind of fun and entertaining, brainstorming new story ideas with something that's helpful in like explaining different plot structures, I'm going to start a series of videos like that. And I think that might help push views on the channel a little bit, and also hopefully give you more of the kind of content that you like and the sort of content that you subscribe to me in the first place to see. I want to do live streams on a more regular schedule. I won't be able to do them every week realistically, but if I can do them every 2 weeks, that would be great. I want to start doing those more, and maybe even do more like live plotting ones where I come up with a story in real time with you, and then you guys can put suggestions in the comments, and then we can incorporate those and we can brainstorm and build stories out together. I want to continue doing YouTube shorts every week as well, doing like one long form video and one YouTube short every week. I will see if I can cross post my like dream idea is if I can cross post like the same YouTube short on like my Instagram, my TikTok, and my YouTube. That would be fantastic. I just don't have the time to go on TikTok and like on Instagram and write captions and manage that every single day. And it is so draining for me to try to do that I don't even really try. That's why I focus on YouTube as my main social media presence. And I've kind of let my TikTok and Instagram die a little bit. It's just way too hard to try to balance everything together. But I have learned that there are some AI programs that are cropping up that allow, like, that make it easier to manage all of the posting for all of these different places. And so if I can use a tool like that I can just go in once a week and I can schedule all of the posts across all the different platforms and I only worry about it once a week, then I can do it. Then it's manageable. But going in every single day and actually hitting post is just, I can't do it. It takes too much time. Especially if I'm going to have to do social media content for another pen name as well. I am excited about that social media content because I think a lot of it is just going to follow like my day-to-day life, because outside of writing, my life is like I ride horses and I work on the ranch. I do a lot of like things that I think people who read cowboy romance would be interested in seeing. So that will be more of like a day in the life type of social media presence, which will be very fun, very weird for me because I never ever share anything about my personal life on social media ever. But I think it'll be fun. I just have to figure out a way to manage it and make it doable, because I'm not a social media person. But I would like to share that, and I think that would be a really cool way to market the book. Also, because I'll be writing romance, TikTok is going to become an important part of my marketing strategy, if TikTok is still around. I think we're going to find out next year. Lastly, I want to send out one mailing list email every 2 weeks. I think this is doable. It's just hard for me to sit down and send emails. It's like one of those things. I can manage YouTube. It's hard for me to manage much else when it comes to social media because I spend all of my time working on my books. So if I can find a way to optimize my mailing list, maybe get an AI agent to help schedule those or to help even like put together the content. Like I will write the top part, or I'll write like a note from Claire every single email, and then the rest of it the AI agent can put together. Like it'll take my latest YouTube video, and it'll take, you know, my like a sale that I'm running on my books, or I don't know how I would do that, but if I can find a way for AI to help me with that, that would be really great, because then I could just go in and I can write my little writing update, and that would be really quick for me to do, and I would still be able to communicate with readers and just be more present and reachable over the course of the year instead of just being on YouTube and otherwise being in like a writing cave. So that's what I got planned for 2025. Those are my goals. I am hopeful that I will be able to accomplish all of them. Realistically, it's hard for me to make an educated guess. In my extremely limited experience of using AI as a virtual assistant, it has cut out a lot of time in drafting. Like I still draft the books, but I'm able to use it to just help me get over those points where I usually just stop and like get kind of writer's blocky and in my head, and then I get exhausted, and then I go on my phone, and then I'd be tired, and then I don't want to write, and then like I write another 500 words, and then I go up and I get a drink, and then I come back. AI helps me stay in the zone longer because I'm able to use it. Like if I'm stuck on something, I can be like, give me 10 different ways that I could transition between this part of the scene to this part of the scene. It gives me 10 different ways. Most of them are bad, but maybe I see one glimmer of an idea and one thing, it sparks some idea, and then I continue writing it, and then I'm able to push through that a lot faster. So using that help, I'm hopeful that I'll be able to be a lot more productive and go faster. I'm also hopeful that romance books they still take a lot of effort and thought, but they follow a certain structure. And so I'm thinking that it might not be as much of a mind twist to plot those as it is to plot like a They Stay 5 or one of those like ghost or like original ghost thrillers that I'm working on. Those are a little bit more original and will take a little bit more thought. And the romance books, while still sprinkling in original elements, and I want to make sure the characters are really real and that it's a good romance book, it's still going to be a romance book and still follow the familiar structure, which brings people to reading romance. That is my hope, but we'll see what will happen. What are your goals for 2025? Do you have some ambitious writing goals? If so, drop them down in the comments. I would love to hear what they are. I'm going to start talking about the new pen name. I haven't mentioned it on the channel yet, so this is my first time talking about it. But I'm going to start talking about it more going forward because it's going to be a big new project for me that I'm very excited about. Because I'm excited to be able to incorporate elements of my daily life into fiction and also like highlight my horse on my social media because he's really cute. And I'm really excited to be able to start like sharing that part of my life with all of you. I know you didn't ask to see a picture, but I'm an insufferably proud animal mom. So these are my babies. They're very cute. Ow. Thank you so much for watching this video. I feel like you probably have a pretty good idea for who I am if you've watched all the way up until the end, but in case you don't, my name is Claire Fraze, and I'm an award-winning author who makes videos on this channel sharing actionable writing tips that helped me make my own writing better. I have published almost an entire 5-book paranormal thriller series called the They Stay series, and I have, as you have heard, many things in store for the new year. If you have a second and are into that sort of thing, I'd be super grateful if you could like this video and also subscribe to my channel to see if I meet all of these goals for 2025. Hopefully I do. I was going to say I'm going to cross my fingers, but that's going to do absolutely nothing. I'm going to really apply myself and see where the year takes me. I'm so grateful for you subscribing to the channel and supporting my writing journey and being a part of my online community. Thank you so much for doing that. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and as always, happy writing. cut my finger on a piece of glass while I was filming, so it looks like my fingertips are really red, but that's just because I have blood on them. Okay, bye!